All right, the second floor gutter is accumulating water and leaking, so we need to put a new downspout on. So the first thing we got to do is climb up on the ladder, find the spot where we want to put our elbow and hook our downspout. We're going to set the thing on the top of the ladder, and we're going to drill a hole right in that gutter.
Oh, no. That gets the water out of there.
As you can see, there's a lot of water stuck in there, so we're going to let it drain.
Just getting this ready over here. There's a pretty good amount of water in there, so we're doing the right thing.
Next, we're going to use that hole that we drilled to cut a bigger opening. So to do a job like this, you're going to need tin snips. And as you can see, we're cutting with the tin snips, and it's going to make little flaps. We're going to bend those flaps down so when we put our elbow on, we can screw into those flaps. And so that's what he's basically doing right now. You can see he's cutting it out. And you're going to need that. You're going to need drills, and a good drill that will go through the aluminum. But as you can see here, we're going to cut this open big enough so we can get those two flaps. You can see there's some water draining out of there, and then we're going to go ahead and screw our elbow into ththose two flaps that we made with our tin snips. And you can see that this drill is magnetic, so it makes it easy so you don't lose your screws. And we're just going to go ahead and put two little screws in right there. Later on, we're going to go up inside there, and we're going to put a sealant all around it so it doesn't drip through. And then we're going to get our straight piece, and we got to measure it off, and we're going to come over about 2 or 3 feet, and then we're going to put an elbow on it going down. You can see there's an elbow on it right now. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get that ready. He's cutting it here, and that's going to be the piece that we're going to set off of that elbow that comes off of that gutter up top. So we've got this one piece. We're trying to get an idea of the length of it, and we're going to have to cut this one. It's a little bit too long. Now that we've cut that piece and we've got our exact length, what we're going to do is take a piece of aluminum, we're going to put an anchor into the wall, and we're going to lock that aluminum around that so that we can fix it to the elbow. So if you notice, we've got like a little soffit on that second floor. And so what we've got to do is we've got to create an elbow, and we've got to measure the length from our connector here that's coming against the wall down to where that soffit is. Then we've got to put an elbow bend in it, and we've got to check our length, and then we're going to have to cut this longer piece and to adjust it so that we can come down to that bottom wall and run it against the wall. And you can see right here, we've already cut it off. We've got our area. Now we just got to push it in there and tie it in. Now we've just got to attach it to that elbow coming off our second floor gutter. Just screw it in there and get it locked in. And as you can see, it's bending right around that soffit. So next we've got to measure and set our bend right here. As you can see, we've done that. And now we've got to make sure it fits in perfect. Just checking it, making sure it's the right length. And once we're sure of our length, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a couple screws in there to lock it down, make it nice and tight. We're going to put it in both sides and both elbows, just to keep it on there. We'll go ahead and attach it to the wall. He's going to get up on top of the roof there, and we're going to waterproof the interior of it with some of that Flex Seal stuff. So our leak was coming right from that little corner right there. It had kind of eroded through there. So what he's doing now is cleaning it all out, and then we're going to put that sealant in there so that the water does not accumulate there and runs down that drain spout. So we've got this one measured, and we just have to attach it to that elbow. Meanwhile, he is using his, I guess it's like a caulk gun, but it has a sealant, and he's sealing in all this area up there to make sure we don't get any more leaks. And then down here, we're going to go ahead and attach this. As you can see, we're wrapping a piece of aluminum around it, and then we're going to tap it in. And he's going to continue to work up there. That's just so crazy. I mean, it's like 2 stories up. If you fall, it's a nightmare. So here he is putting in the screws to lock it in. As you can see, we got to get one side, and then we're going to put one, of course, on the other side on top there. And so, basically we're just putting screws in on all the different sides of those elbows and those straight pieces of gutter. And then he's just making sure that that whole area around where we put the downspout in is covered with sealant. And here he's just basically tapping those long giant screws in on that second floor gutter and making sure that that thing is in there nice and solid. And pretty much basically we've got the whole job done now. And so the last thing we really have to do is tie that downspout and that last elbow to the wall. And so that's kind of what we're going to be doing now. He's getting ready to come down the ladder. And we're going to go ahead and put a piece of this aluminum around it. You can see we're just wrapping it right there and screwing it into that anchor. And that's basically how we did it on all of them. And then we just kind of push it back. And then we're going to set that elbow and that straight piece in there and wrap it, and then really just tap in a couple screws so that it locks it in place and it doesn't move. And you can see he's kind of just basically just wrapping them around, holding them over, and then we're going to go ahead and screw them in. And that's it. And as you can see, we've got our bends, our elbows, and our downspout locked in. And that's the job. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my other awesome videos where I show you how to do stuff. Peace out.